Well, Rami Khouri is a public policy fellow at the American University of Beirut, and he joins us live now from Boston, Massachusetts. Thank you very much, Rami, for your time. Now, leading experts in the field of international law formally declaring Israel's war on Gaza meets the UN's definition of genocide. How significant is this declaration by these scholars? What weight does this declaration carry?
Thank you, Rhiannon. It carries a lot of weight in different ways, but it's not clear if any of this is going to have any impact on the Israeli government, because the Israeli government has clearly shown since October 23 that it doesn't care about international law, conventions, morality, pressures, court cases. It just doesn't abide by any of this. It feels it's above the law. And therefore, we have to wait and see. But among the majority of people and institutions in the world, I think this decision or this vote is really very significant because it's, first of all, by serious scholars. This is not just a bunch of journalists like me or a bunch of civil society people or independent commentators. These are serious scholars who are dealing with perhaps the most serious topic in the world. Genocide. And this kind of big vote in favor of saying that, yes, Israel is committing genocide will get attention. It also has political implications. The Genocide Convention says that when a genocide is taking place, the signatories to the 1948 Convention are obligated, not recommended, but obligated to take action to stop the genocide. In other words, stop allowing arms to be shipped, stop allowing things to happen politically to support the genocidal actions. It also has consequences at the global activism level. There'll be more and more people now who will join the different attempts to bring pressure on the Israelis to make sure that they stop the genocide and shift into some kind of political process to resolve the issues that they have with the Palestinians and with the other Arabs around the region. So there's a lot of significance to this on paper, but we'll see how this translates into action.
Indeed. What is the legal definition of genocide according to these scholars? What acts are specified in particular as being in breach of international law when we've seen so many breaches in many people's opinion during this brutal war in Gaza, on Gaza?
The convention talks about the intention of a party to carry out acts with the intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, religious or racial group. So the intent is a big part of this. The acts that are being carried out are specified in parts of the convention. There are 5 different elements that are noted. One of them, for instance, is depriving people of food and water and things they need to live as human beings biologically, or to drive them out of their territory, or to kill them, or to prevent the birth of new babies. There are specific actions, and then there's the issue of intent. And the third element that some of the scholars who voted and were interviewed about this, one of them said something like, what was important in our decision was that we felt that there was an ongoing process, that genocide is not just a one-off act like the Hiroshima bomb. Genocide is an ongoing process. It goes on year after year, and this is what the Israelis have been doing. Another person, the president of the association, her name is Melanie O'Brien from Australia. She said that the withholding by Israel of food, water, sanitary products, etc., medicine was a critical element in causing so many of the scholars to vote for this resolution. So Israel and its actions and its intent and its ongoing vicious moves in Gaza, which continue to today, every day this goes on, they meet all the criteria. And many of these scholars are Jewish, some are Israelis. These are serious, independent scholars. And this is something that the world really should pay attention to. The big question is, how does this almost unanimous sentiment translate into political action. I've talked to some of these scholars here in the United States. Some are Israeli, some are Jewish, some are other identities, and they all say the same thing, that there's no doubt that this is genocide. And the question is, what are we going to do about it? If the Israelis ignore it and the Americans allow the Israelis to continue doing what they're doing, then the whole structure of international law and norms and protections for civilians and international resolutions, all of this will turn out to be nonsense. It's a big hoax. Many people in the global south, including myself, are starting to think that what the Western powers did after the end of World War II, when they came up with these kinds of conventions, that they were not sincere, they were not serious. They were just trying to protect themselves or hide some of their complicity or whatever. But now we see, with the behavior of so many Western powers, but mainly the United States, we see that they were not serious, that they're perfectly willing to allow a genocide to happen and to help make it happen.
Rami, really appreciate your time and your thoughts here on TRT World. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.